Chapter 11, containing a great deal of shouting.
Jimmy was struck dumb. Did Prince Brat have sand for brains? Gaw! Didn't he realize he could snatch up his crown and go free? It doesn't please me to take orders from common rascals, Prince Brat said coldly. It would please me to shake the teeth out of your confounded face, replied Hold-Your-Nose Billy. You may live in the castle, but you're only a whipping boy. Do as I say. I'll do what I choose, and I choose not to run your errands. Jimmy leaped up and gave the prince an angry flash of eyes. Jimmy from the street gets these stubborn fits, he said, contrary as a mule. Let me have a word with him. I'll whip the muleness out of him, exclaimed Cutwater, lurching forward. Prince Brat dodged out of his grasp and a sour smile crossed his face. I'll tear up your vile message the moment I'm gone and keep the crown for myself. Hold-Your-Nose Billy caught Cutwater's unpraised arm. Hold up, there's something in what he says. You think he's angling for a share of a reward, Billy? Likely is. The greedy little snipe, Cutwater bleated. How much do you reckon we can spare? This calls for private words. Let's parley. Follow me. The moment the outlaws ducked out of the hut, Jimmy turned on his companion. Prince Blockhead, you should wear your own crown to fend off woodpeckers. Impostor! How dare you insult me? You're enough to give the devil himself fits. Haven't I so muddled their brains they want to turn you loose, and you reward me with royal squawk? The prince had crossed to the wicker basket and snatched up an uneaten apple tart. He gobbled it down. I'll return to the castle when I'm ready, when I choose, and not a moment before. Jimmy's eyes narrowed sharply. He couldn't fathom what was stirring in the prince's mind. Could he, for once, be concerned for someone other than himself? It's not me you think you're protecting, is it? You? Knowing they'll knock the daylights out of me soon as they find out I tricked them? The prince shrugged. You're a quick boy. You'll think of something. I've already thought of it. Once you're up and gone, I'll slip away out into the forest. I'll be harder to catch than a flea. But I'm not leaving, said the prince firmly. Gaw! But why? Is it your paw you're afraid of? Is that why you won't go back? The prince scoffed. He won't miss me. Course he will. Let him wait, and mind your own affairs, whipping boy. It is my affair. Do you reckon you're out on a lark with murderers outside? The murderer shuffled back into the hut. Hold-Your-Nose Billy fixed Prince Brat with a hairy smile. Never let it be sung about that me and Cutwater ain't generous to a fault, lad. We'll share out with you a bucketful of gold and jewels. No, replied the prince flatly, as if he'd been offered a bucketful of coal. Don't run me out of patience, warned the huge outlaw. The prince remained defiant. I'm staying. Hold-Your-Nose Billy ripped off his leather belt. I'll lash a bit of sense into your head. Jimmy saw that Prince Brat wasn't going to shift his ground. You don't need my whipping boy to get into the castle. There's a better way. Do say, exclaimed Cutwater doubtfully. My horse, remarked Jimmy. There's your messenger, sirs. Hold-Your-Nose Billy gave a snort. Faugh, that fine beast. We've been afoot since our poor horse turned heels up. We need a mount in our line of work. Nitwits, exclaimed Jimmy, as if his own princely patience were at its end. With rings on your fingers and golds in your pocket, you can take to the roads like gentlemen. You'll be traveling about in fine coaches. But first, you've got to lay hands on the treasure. Cutwater made a sound through his nose like a pitch pine. With the horse outside, one of the king's own, a horse can always find his way home, can it? That fine beast will make for the castle stables. Note a crown, no questions asked.
Chapter 12, wherein Jimmy is betrayed.
With a gleeful chuckle, Hold-Your-Nose Billy dropped the ransom note and golden crown into a dirty linen sack. When he knotted the sack to the saddle, he turned to Cutwater. Soon as I'm within a squint of the castle, I'll turn the beast loose. Guard our prisoners. I'll tie him up, Cutwater wheezed, giving his heavy partner a foot up in the royal saddle. From the doorway, Jimmy watched Hold-Your-Nose Billy vanish into the tangled maze of the tree limbs and brambles. Then he glanced about at the bare furnishings, the hanging ropes of the garlic bulbs, and the bed straw, the chest of stolen goods. He'd need some trickery to escape. The prince fixed him with a smirk. You're clever, all right, but a common dunce all the same. Gaw! A cartload of jewels and gold. The ruffians would have been content with a mere jingle of coins. Jimmy's eyes swung back to the bed straw. There was his escape, a cartload of moonshine, he said. It'll never be forked over. I'm a prince. Papa will have to pay it. Jimmy began burrowing like a barn mouse under the moldy straw. Not a bit. He won't. Papa will foam at the mouth. Jimmy was disappearing, limb by limb, under the straw. Think again. It'll be clear as water, the note's a scrambly, witted fake. Papa will keep me under lock and key after this. It won't fool a soul, that note. How could you have written it? Everyone in the castle knows you can't so much as sign your own name. I never needed to before. It's me that's in the soup. I'll catch it for your mischief in running away, and I'll catch it again when the tutor claps eyes on the handwriting. He'll say, Jimmy, this is Jimmy, trying to line his own pockets. Your pa'll scrag me with his bare hands, so I'll be obliged if you'd help me nip out of here. I promise you my protection, announced the prince with sudden generosity. Jimmy protects himself, said the whipping boy. When the plaguey Cutwater comes to tie us up, tell him I slipped out the door. Soon as he bounces off after me, I'll make a break for it. You'd leave me alone with cutthroats? Before Jimmy could answer, he heard the sharp squeak of the door. He held his breath. Lads, you won't mind if I truss you up like Christmas goose? There came a sudden pause, and Jimmy's heart began to thump. Where's the prince? Cutwater snapped. Jimmy heard Prince Brat answer without the slightest hesitation. Him? Over there, under the straw?